incomprehensible reasons, wishes it to be.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Chris Tremaine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there's a strange smell that's starting to permeate across the chamber. It's the kind of smell that one gets when you walk across the high tide mark after a big storm. It's the kind of smell that you get as you walk through a forest. It's that smell of decay, of rot, of dead wood. And today, the Leader of the Opposition got to the heart of that, where he talked about, backed up the rejuvenation that is going on this side of the House, as 8 to 10 of our MPs make the decision to move on to other things, and we allow fresh, bright ideas to come into this party. And, Mr. Speaker, on the other side, though, that smell permeating that dead wood, what we're seeing 5 years on from the start of this government is rejuvenation, change, new policy happening on this side of the House. And on the other side, dead wood. Dead wood policies and dead wood politicians, Mr. Speaker. And when we come to the election in just a few months' time, towards the end of next year, the public will be sitting there going, what is on offer here? A party after 6 years, bright with new ideas and fresh people, or one after 6 years that has not changed, still full of deadwood politicians? And on that note, Mr. Speaker, I was proud to attend the Policy Day up at Premier House just last Friday, where we walked into the Premier House, a caucus full of a huge vibe of confidence and resetting our policies going forward. And in that regard, Mr. Speaker, we talked long and hard about the 4 key objectives that we set as a party when we came into office. Firstly, to return the government's books to surplus. Secondly, to create a more productive and competitive economy. Thirdly, to build better public services. And fourthly, to rebuild that beautiful city of Christchurch, which I don't think anyone in the House would oppose. But in every one of those policy areas, it was exciting to be able to talk about the future, new policies to add to those ones that we've been implemented to date, Mr. Speaker. And let's have a look at some of the results that we have achieved over the last 5 years in regard to those key policy areas. 3% annual growth, Mr. Speaker. That provides our country a huge future. For children like mine, 17, 15 and 13, who are looking to get into tertiary education and to go forward, an economy now with 3% growth going forward, absolutely fantastic. On top of that, we're also going to set a pathway to return back to surplus. And wonderful to see the spokesman, the Treasury spokesman, the finance spokesman for Labor supporting that, actually predicting that we were going to do better than we thought ourselves. And I've got to say, that was actually really good. A fantastic situation. Returning to surplus, getting our accounts back in order, a great thing. Also good to see the IMF endorsement of the way we're tracking the accounts in good position moving forward. Business confidence, strong. Consumer confidence, really high. Immigration turned around from where we saw it. Net positive migration in September alone, an additional 2,700 people moving into New Zealand, then departing. That's positive, Mr. Speaker. But what's best of all, we're seeing that trend in unemployment continuing to fall. So this time last year, 7.2%. Got down to 6.4%, and just in the September quarter, down to 6.2%, Mr. Speaker. We've still got work to do, I accept that, but if we see that trend growth and continuing, that 2 to 3%, it's one of the best economies in the Western world, then we'll see, I predict next year, that employment number down into the 5% range. So that's absolutely fantastic, Mr. Speaker. Put that together with the new ideas that we were creating at that Premier House last Friday. Put that together with the rejuvenation of our caucus, a strong new face of people coming in with fresh positive ideas. Mr. Speaker, what that presents is a party that's going into its next election with a spring in our step. Compare that to the opposition, a bunch of deadwood politicians with deadwood policies going nowhere, offering no future of any capacity to New Zealand. Mr. Speaker, if I was the leader of the opposition, I would be worried, with the polls going nowhere north anytime fast, and with a caucus full of deadwood politicians. We understand that we're in a great position heading up to that election. It's going to be a fantastic time, and I can't wait for it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Moana Mackie.